Hi guys, Ross here and welcome back to another video. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Today we're going to be doing a breakdown / process video of this desert interior scene I made the other day. This should be a really interesting one as I haven't really done many of these types of renders on the channel, so hopefully it will give you a good insight into my process. Before we jump into the video, I do just want to mention that you can download the project file from today's video. If you don't want to sit through and listen to me waffle, you can go check it out, go download it and dig through the project file at your own pace. It does include the cinema file and the Photoshop file for post-production. So yeah, massive thank you as well to anyone that is downloading the project files and supporting me that way. I really do appreciate it, and it means I can spend more time at making these kinds of videos. So without further ado, let's jump into Cinema 4D. So I start off with a figure object, and this allows me to kind of set the scale for the scene and make sure that I'm building everything as close to real life scale as possible. So just by placing that in, I can kind of gauge how big the building should be around it. This just allows me to make sure that the lighting and everything is as accurate as possible. So we're starting off very simple, just using cube objects, using some booleans and a cylinder to kind of create this archway. And at this point, I'm just kind of figuring out the composition. You can see I've enabled my grids on my camera. So I've tried to line up the archway kind of with the rule of thirds just to make sure that composition is interesting. But I do kind of push and pull this and tweak it to get the look that I want. So here we're just dropping in some landscapes and just spacing these apart so that we still get a nice blend of the desert and the water, and just kind of figuring out the scale for those. As you can see, I do move the archway to the center of the piece, kind of like some of the previous ones I've done, and I just think this helps to make it feel a bit more geometric and surreal, and it just works a bit better with the composition. So just playing with some of those landscapes. Here I'm going to start to add an archway in, and you can see I did this just by using a rectangular spine, making it editable, and then chamfering the top two edges. I then drop this into an extrude and a boolean, and this creates this archway on the left hand side. This is going to allow us to get some really nice kind of lighting later on in the scene once we play with the lighting, but it also adds some mystery to kind of give you the impression that, you know, this interior does expand beyond what we're seeing in the camera, but also kind of leads to this outside area. It could also kind of give the impression that the water inside the interior ties in with the ocean outside, so it's just about kind of trying to tie everything together and keep everything cohesive. So here I've dropped in that water and some steps using some cubes and a cloner object. This is going to give us a really interesting look later when we play with the lighting and the water material. And then I add in another pool in the corner, so kind of like a little hot tub spot, just helping to kind of build on that scene and add some more detail. So you can see there I made the water a lot more interesting, and I did that just by adding some absorption and just changing that color to like a bluish green. Makes it feel a lot more tropical, a lot more interesting, and it works really well with the steps because you can kind of see the color gets more vibrant the deeper it goes in the water. So yeah, just helps to add another level of detail there. So here I'm just kind of adding some more elements to the scene, trying to make it feel a bit more interesting, adding those pillars, and then finally adding a roof, which completely switches up the vibe of the piece. So here I'm starting to kind of play with the position of things, just fine tuning them. And then in a minute, I'm going to start to play with the lighting. And that is something that I always say, is that the lighting can make or break a scene. So I think it is really worth kind of focusing on learning lighting and just playing with your options and seeing what different results you can get. Because in a minute, when I rotate it, I'm going to get a completely different result. So we're getting some really nice lighting from the pillars there. And this feels now like a lot more cozy and secluded. Just because a lot of it is in the shade, it feels a lot more cozier. So you can really kind of switch up the whole vibe of your piece through the lighting. So currently I was using just the sky and sun rig, but I felt like the shadows were too dark and it wasn't as visually interesting as it could be. So I add a second HDRI, just like an outside HDRI, and this helps to fill in some of the shadows, but also adds like another kind of tone of color, just to kind of make it feel a little bit more realistic. So just playing with the lighting, kind of getting an angle that I'm happy with. And then here I add a caustics light. So all I do is just make a square light over the water, add a caustics texture, which, you know, you can make in After Effects or just grab online. Set the spread all the way down so that you capture the details of that image texture, and then just set it to only include the water and the steps. So that casts those caustics, which, you know, again, is just helping to add another level of detail to the piece. Because if you look at any kind of swimming pool or, you know, body of water, they have those caustics in there, and it just helps to kind of add that level of detail. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm just playing with some color schemes and kind of the overall look and feel of the scene. At the moment, going with these kind of purple colors and then just like a classic kind of desert landscape texture. At the moment, I felt like the landscapes were too rough, so I do decrease the rough furrows and the fine furrows, and also just decrease the scale so it smooths out the landscape. I felt when they were too textured like that, it distracted from the interior, so I kind of wanted to smooth them out and make them feel a bit more dreamy and a bit softer. And then I also bring some into the actual interior, so that's helping to tie the interior and the exterior together, just making it all feel like one kind of cohesive area. And then yeah, I'm quite happy with that, so now I'm just continuing to play with the textures, kind of going for this warm desert feel, and then also adding in some additional lights to the left hand side because it was quite dark and I just wanted to paint a little bit more light in there. So here again, just playing with the lighting, I couldn't make my mind up on the look I wanted to go for, so just continuing to play around with that, fine tune it, darken some areas, brighten some other areas, and then also using the Redshift post effects. The photographic exposure is really, really good for just lifting some shadows, but also clamping any areas which are overexposed. So I usually enable that in most of my scenes, just to kind of help level everything out. I then add that sky texture in the background, which is really simple. That's just a plane, and then I find a sky texture on Unsplash and just project it onto the plane. So the vibrancy of the sky on that texture and kind of the artistic feel to the clouds, I think tied quite well with the look and feel we were going for in the interior. So just helped to tie everything together nicely. Now I'm just adding some kind of final details to the scene. I'm quite happy with everything in terms of composition and color. We've got some really nice kind of warm orange colors in there and it all ties together nicely. So I'm just getting everything kind of fine-tuned, ready to render out, and I'll start to add some AOVs in a minute. But before I do that, I just do a couple full res renders just to see if I'm missing any details, just fine-tuning those Redshift post effects. And yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking now, so I start to set up the AOVs. So that includes adding a crypto matte, specular lighting, reflections, refractions, all things which I may want to pull out later on in post-production. Just gives me a bit more control if I want to fine-tune anything. So we're just doing the final render here. It's actually pretty quick at rendering because it's nothing too heavy really. It's just simple geometry, nice layout, nice lighting, and some nice kind of reflections and refractions. But it's still pretty light. So just kind of fine-tuning that. You can see I updated a bit because I wasn't too happy with it, but I'm using the camera raw filter in Photoshop, and the beauty of this is if you make your layer a smart object beforehand, you can dive back into the camera raw filter at any point and kind of fine tune those settings. Or if you update the render and you have to re-import it, you can just copy and paste those settings over like I just did. So it's really, really easy to work with, and yeah, really intuitive if you need to kind of change anything. So I'm using those crypto mattes and some of those specular lighting and reflection passes just to add a little bit more detail here and there, kind of brighten up the water and make it feel a bit more saturated. And that is the final piece. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. I know it was a bit different than my usual kind of tutorials, so let me know what you think. I'm really open to kind of any feedback. If I should make more of them or slow it down or just stick to full-length tutorials, let me know. I really appreciate any feedback. And if you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button. Drop a comment in the comment section down below. Subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And thank you again for watching. And until next time, peace.